Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the program. This is David Russell Show. I'm David Russell. Thank you again for tuning in. Folks, let's talk about something that just about no local government's talking about, but just about every citizen is. These are AI data centers. Man, that's an important subject. That's right. These gigantic computer warehouse that big tech is building all over America, and I'm telling you, this issue is about to explode in just about every city and every state across the country. Now, please understand me. I'm not anti-technology. America should lead the world in AI, and America should dominate this in the future. But there's a big difference between smart growth and blind stupidity. That's right. A lot of these cities are walking blindly into deals that they don't understand. These AI centers are massive. We're not talking about a little office building where there's a computer room in the back. We're talking about stadium size football field facilities that run 24 hours a day, sucking up enormous amount of electricity, enormous amount of water, and creating non-stop industrial noise right next to neighborhoods and businesses. And all the governments are acting like or hearing is jobs, investment, and tax revenue. Well, that's fine. But somebody has to start asking the smart questions or the hard questions about what does that mean? What does it do for us? Because if we don't, the taxpayer will get stuck in the end holding the bag. Now, let's start with energy. These AI centers consume an unbelievable amount of electricity. Some of them use more than small cities. Think about that. Entire neighborhoods already struggling paying their rising electricity bills, and then a gigantic AI center moves in, and suddenly the grid is extremely under pressure. Who pays for these substations? Who pays for the expanded transmission lines? Who pays for the grid that gets unstable during the summer heat waves or the winter cold times? Well, you and I do. Citizens do. Meanwhile, tech companies are making billions. There's some common sense solutions that we need to look at. I believe that any of these large-scale AI data centers should be required to produce at least 80% of its own energy needs. I'd put more of the strain on them versus us. Now, how would that work? Well, natural gas generation, small modular nuclear generators in the future, solar panels. Hey, the left loves solar panels and battery backup. That could take some of it, or whatever combination that works for them. We need them to pull the wagon here and not make us do all the pulling. But the big thing is we don't want the local taxpayers, homeowners, to be struggling with even more utility costs. That's not anti-business. That is responsible government. Now, let's talk about something that's huge, that especially in Texas, our water issue is a huge issue. Let's talk about the water. Most people have no idea how much water these facilities consume. These are gigantic servers that create an enormous amount of heat, cooling that requires an unbelievable amount of volume in these systems. What happens to these projects in drought-prone cities? Well, suddenly the citizens are told, please conserve your water. Please limit your watering on your yard. Please take shorter showers. Meanwhile, millions of gallons are being consumed by AI cooling systems. People notice the hypocrisy real fast on that. First, how to fix this? Well, we need mandatory water capturing system. Now, what would that look like? Every bit of the rainwater hits that roof needs to be captured. Every bit of the water it hits that parking lot needs to have a storm drain recovery system. We need a water recycling system for them that they need to fund themselves. Second, we could require them to have non-potable water whenever possible. They could use reclaimed water, truck it in. They could use treated gray water and stop using our expensive drinking quality water to cool computer system if there's no other alternative available. Now, this is not anti-growth. This is smart planning. And there's another hard issue that nobody seems to be discussing, but it's a pretty important one. Noise pollution. Now, these data centers operate nonstop. Cooling fans, industrial heating and cooling system, backup generators, testing all hours, a constant mechanical hum. Now, these things gets built sometimes close to local neighborhoods. Residents can't enjoy their backyard because of this noise. But local officials often approve these projects before understanding what the long-term sound effects impacts their residential area. Here's some common sense, simple requirements. They need sound deadening walls, heavy landscape buffering zone, large green spaces surround the facility, tree barriers, modern acoustical engineering. These companies can spend billions of dollars on AI systems. They can spend some money necessary to be good neighbors to the cities they're moving into. See what responsible leadership actually looks like? It's not screaming no to every project, but it's also not approving blindly every project. It's thinking ahead, thinking about your city, thinking about your citizens, and setting some rules that encourage economic development, but also protecting the citizens that you have. This is smart conservative leadership should be doing. Protecting taxpayers, protecting infrastructure, protecting neighborhoods. These are people that built your city before these guys ever thought about coming in, and protecting the quality of life. Folks, this issue is going to only get bigger. AI is expanding faster. The demand for data centers is exploding, and cities that fail to prepare are going to regret it later. Because once these facilities are built, once the infrastructure is locked in, once the strain is on the grid and the water system, it only becomes harder to fix. That's why local and state government needs to start working right now on fixing this problem. Not 5 years from now, not after the problem starts, but plan now. Now, America should lead in the AI revolution, but local citizens should not be sacrificed for this. Thank you for tuning into the program. Please like, subscribe, share it everywhere, because it doesn't get out unless you share it. So I'll be back. I'll have more soon. And we might be talking about data centers. We might be talking about some other issues. But we're going to be looking at hard-hitting issues. Thank you for watching.